Okay, so our topic for today is all about financial statement analysis. Liquid. So the continuation of these topics are the liquidity ratios and leverage ratio. Liquidity ratio measures the ability of a company to pay maturing obligation from its current asset. So as we all know that liquidity means asset can convert into cash. So that when the company convert current asset to cash, does it mean that the company can pay the obligation or the liabilities? And types of liquidity ratio is the current ratio. Current ratio is equivalent to current asset and current liabilities. So let's recap what is current asset and current liabilities. Current asset include cash and other assets which are expected to be converted to cash within 12 months. So, ibig sabihin, when we say current asset, the assets are expected to convert into cash within 12 months. Example of current asset, we have the account receivable and inventories. Another thing is the prepayment, such as prepaid rent or prepaid insurance. So when we say prepaid, what does it mean? You already paid the asset in advance. Another thing is the current liabilities. So include obligation that are expected. Also, the company must pay the obligation within 12 months. So what are the example of accounts payable? We have accounts payable, accrued expense payable, such as accrued salary and current portion of long-term debt. If the result is high, it means that the company will be able to pay obligation but does not guarantee that no liquidity problem or payment problem will arise. So expect this problem if ever that the result of the current ratio is too high. Expected that there is a liquidity problem. And then another thing is the company does not depend on the current ratio, but they depend also on the receivables and the inventories. So this is the current ratio, current asset divided by current liabilities. Refer to the picture that I've sent last time. So look at the statement of financial position. So we have 9,262,331. So when we divide it to current liability, it results to 1.18. What does it mean? The current ratio of 1.18 means that for every 1 peso of current liability, the company has 1 peso and 18 current assets. So the result of the current ratio is the present current asset of the company. So next, the acid test ratio or quick asset ratio. Quick asset ratio, current asset minus inventory over current liability. The common between the current ratio and the quick ratio is they have a account receivable. But in acid test ratio, the real test of a company's ability to meet its maturing obligation largely depend on the quality of its receivable. So In quick asset ratio, they to meet or to pay the maturing obligation or the liability, they are depending on the quality of its receivable. And another thing is, even if a company has a quick asset ratio, a company is not assured that no liquidity problem will arise. If the collection of account receivable takes too long. So the result of quick asset ratio is very high, but does not mean that there is no problem. Kahit na yung pag-collect ng account receivable, it takes time. Magkakaroon pa rin ng problema. So this is the formula. So we have two formulas. So just use any of the two. Yung cash plus cash account receivable plus short-term marketable securities divided by current liabilities. As you can see to the table that I've sent to you last time, there is no account receivable. When that is happened, you can use the trade receivable. So just add the cash and the trade receivable, after that divided by the current liabilities. So what does it mean? The ratio means that for every 1 peso current liability, it has 0.43 quick asset. So they have already 43 centavos quick asset. Leverage ratio. Leverage ratio shows the capital structure of a company. That is how much of the total asset of a company is financed by debt and how much is financed by stockholder equity. Financed by debt means you are borrowing, but finance in stockholder equity, you are going to use cash on personal cash rather. Leverage ratio can also be used to measure the company ability to meet long-term obligation. So these are the these are the factor of influencing the capital structure. Number one, just read. Then another type of ratio, we have debt ratio. Measure how much of the total asset are financed by liability. So just equal to total liabilities divided by total asset. So this is the result, 0.44. Just look on the table that I've sent to you last time. So the result means that if the ratio less than 0.5 means the company has less liability as compared stockholder equity. If the debt ratio is higher than 0.5, the amount of total liability is exactly equal to stockholder equity. Clarification. The debt ratio 0.5 or exactly 0.5, if the result is 0.5, rather the amount of total liabilities is equivalent to stockholder equity. Then we have the debt to equity ratio. Is a variation of the debt to equity ratio of more than one mean the company has more liability compared to stockholder equity. So this is the formula. Just look at the table. So the result is 0.79. So what does it mean? So 0.79 in debt to equity ratio means that I didn't include. Ay. Since the company debt ratio is less than 1, it is expected that the debt to equity ratio is less than 1. So, yan. So, oh, I didn't include. So, we have the interest. Okay, that's it.